Hey everyone, welcome back to Poplar Preparedness. This is another food shortage update. We got a lot of stuff to jam in here. Like always, we got bird flu updates of chickens being culled. We got reports of food processing plants burning down. We got reports coming from you guys about what you're seeing on the store shelves. And as always, towards the end of the video, we have our self-sufficiency tip of the day. We hit these things in rapid succession and don't waste your time. Let's jump right into it. Bird flu update. Once again, for context, we started things off with 518 million USA chickens, 35 million of which are now dead. April 28th. There wasn't any large commercial farms that were culled. However, not to be discounted in any way, shape, or form, a number of backyard flocks were also culled. Indiana, a backyard flock. Michigan, 2 in Minnesota, and 1 in Vermont. Just a couple hundred chickens, but, and this is a big but, to those people who had their chickens killed, this is not a small number. This is not a small deal. So far this year, the USDA is reporting that they have culled 86 other, in addition to one I just listed, 86 other backyard flocks. Now, I normally don't report on those because, you know, the big sticker shock of the millions of chickens at the commercial farms. But the fact is that they are going to people's homes and they are culling their backyard flocks. That is horrible. What is the evidence for all this? Is there evidence? I do not know the process of how they are actually culling people's chickens or informing them, whether it's people actually going and getting the PCR tests and when they test positive, that's when they come, or whether they're just in the area and they're logged, and so therefore officials show up their homes. If any of you have experienced this or know other people who have been through this process, either this go-around or the last time bird flu popped up in the United States, please do let me know down in the comment section or shoot me an email. Fire watch. Train derailment fire in Burlington, North Dakota. Okay, now trains don't usually catch on fire when they derail, and they don't usually derail. But both of those things happened in North Dakota. It was a number of rail cars that did catch fire, and there were some chemicals involved, and some foodstuffs and paper stuffs were destroyed. Another suspicious incident. We're just putting those out there for you. You can connect the dots if you want to, or you can not connect the dots if you don't want to. All right, big news out there as we've been discussing. The 12-pack canned chickens from Walmart have gone up in price, at least here in the United States, and so let's walk through a little bit of that because a lot of you guys had a lot to say about that. A lot of you pointed out that the 4-pack chickens, canned chicken at Walmart, is still about $1.99 in the United States for 12-ounce cans. So if you buy the 4-pack, it's not that big of a price increase there. It's cheaper than getting the 12-packs. At that point, though, I would just toss out there, if you like the canned hams, that's not all that much more expensive. And if you really want chicken, Vienna sausages at Walmart, 52 cents a can if you buy the 12-pack. That's all I'm saying. Look for the best protein options out there if you're still trying to stock up on protein. Also realize that animal protein is not necessary. You can go vegetarian protein. That there are some great options doing that as well. Let's jump into your reports here. Curtis H. I live in Montrose, Colorado, and the first case of the bird flu passing to humans have been confirmed in our county. Everyone in my town and surrounding areas got what sounded like an Amber Alert following the news of the confirmed case. Shortly after then, we received messages on our phones announcing anyone with chickens needs to register their address with the link provided. Looks like they are now in the process of going to those houses who have chickens and culling all the birds in the area. In Delta, Colorado, which is about 28 miles from Montrose, there are many large chicken farms, some of which have 100,000 plus birds, and they are culling all those birds as we speak. I have not seen those numbers yet show up on the USDA report, but we may see those in the coming days. The first thing that came to mind is I need to let the Poplar community know what's going on so they can hear about this. The information has been released to the news, and so we should be hearing about it shortly. So there, folks, that's just if we have more bird flu cases in humans, are they going to do similar things? And make your choices of what you're going to do when you get the knock on your door about your chickens. Think through those type of situations and make sure you don't do something rash or stupid. Please. They are birds, and you need to decide which hills you're going to draw the line on and which not. Okay, Manton 457 Bangor Commissary in Silverdale, Washington, was decently stocked. Could not get any traps. I believe that's referring ant traps. No quart-sized freezer bags, and the section was condensed. Canned fish and meats had lots of holes. Chicken was there, both Tyson and Foster Farms, but there were some gaps. They even had turkey parts, very low on bottled water, low on pet food. Silverdale Grocery Outlet was decent. Bremerton Winco was well stocked, and they had ant traps and the freezer bags. Anya 8221 says, Fleming Island, Florida. No rice noodles in any stores, plenty of all other noodles. Kenneth O. Went to a smaller Walmart in Memphis. Looked like a brand new store. This is the second Saturday morning around 8 a.m. that almost every shelf, dairy, lunch meat, regular meat, and canned meat and vegetables were fully stocked. The only half-full case was the frozen French fries, and even the biscuits were well stocked. All right, Necromorpheus says Southeast UK. In Asda, which is like an Aldi, there is no cooking oil left. I'm at home, so sent my partner out. He was shocked by the shelves. Hopefully this will help him wake up and see I'm not joking when I say there's a crisis coming. ETA, we found eventually, I guess an update, we found some oil eventually, but the price has doubled. Usually around £2, now £4. And the olive oil was even more at £6. Kim in NSW, Australia, dry beans and soup mix have been reduced to 2 1-meter shelves, less than a quarter of the usual space. No dried chickpeas or dried kidney beans. Also, French onion soup is very hard to find, as is Vegemite of all things. Most products have increased in prices, and there are gaps everywhere. So there's going to be rioting in Australia if the Vegemite does not return, I hear. That's just something I heard, because you know how they are with Vegemite. Ken B. Amazon Mountain House freeze-dried ground beef in a number 10 can. Last purchased 8th of September last year, $54.74. Currently, price is $94.99 from the same seller. I have been kind of monitoring that. If you haven't heard already, Augustin Farms has actually shut down their production. And recently, ReadyWise has also shut down their production because they can't source food to freeze dry. They can't source food to make their products with. And if they can't buy food, how long until we can't buy food? That's a legitimate question there. Madam K, Northeast Wisconsin, low on OMG. I don't know what that means. I tried Googling it. I don't know what that means, but someone out there is going to tell me and tell us. Paper plates, flour, sugar, 2 freezers empty, no canned chili, not many cereal bars or granola bars, milk, eggs, and bacon. They had tons of toilet paper, Little Debbie snacks, chips and nuts. Dollar General was 95% full, except what I seen. Expensive I found 10 plastic bottles of real mayo that expire 4/22, so already expired. And I forgot to tell her, I got 2 packs of brown gravy mix last week, Mill Valley, and both were expired. I used them anyways. Carmen C., Peoria, Arizona. I have seen some empty spots. Meat's still extremely expensive. For the first time in my Walmart orders are getting canceled because they don't have my supplies or delayed. Also, hard time finding canning supplies. Walmart doubled the cost in chicken by the case. I've been urging everyone to stock up, but they have been thinking I lost my mind. I hope and pray people wake up. Janet S., Winco, Denton, Texas. Low on sausage, pork, chicken. Selection slim regarding chicken parts, drums, thighs, and whole chickens. Shrimp plenty. Fish low. Vegetable prices low on canned store brand. Beef low. Vegetable oil jumped to $3.28, about $1 increase from a couple of weeks ago. Powdered milk, 1 pouch, which I took. Picked up 2 bottles of mustard, a pound or so of raw sunflower seeds, $2. We'll try to plant some. If raw, should be sprouted. Shortages and fronting, banana chips, $1.86 a pound for preparation. Quick oats in bulk, $1.89, got 5 pounds. 10 pounds basmati rice already bagged, now over $16. Dog food was great. Parley P says, Topeka, Kansas. I visited Target, had small holes. The Dollar Tree was full. The only thing I didn't see, cleaning vinegar. I found out that Hy-Vee is keeping better stock, even in Topeka. Knight in Shining ASMR says, I can see why more people in New South Wales than Victoria, so the different states, right, are starting to prep. Victoria produces the most food of any Australian state. This will be why Victorians aren't as concerned with food shortages. Don't worry, we'll never run out of food because Victoria produces it all. Victoria is closely aligned with the Dragon Country. If Victoria decides to sell all the food to them, Victorians will go hungry. The federal government can stop our food from being sold to them, but they choose not to. That makes voting harder because neither of the major parties care about our food security. Diana R., Walmart in southern New Jersey. Very low on chicken and grass-fed beef. Frozen food was very low, hardly any French fries and frozen potatoes. No fresh sweet potatoes, and produce did not look fresh. Had pasta. Flour section is about a third of what it was and not fully stocked. Canned chicken very low. Eggs only had Walmart brand in dozens, and 60-count Eggland's Best only in 18 packs, and those were very low. They actually had pasta, which they have not had in a month. Dog food very low. No vegetable plants, only herb plants, and most were dead. All right, folks, and on to our self-sufficiency tip of the day. I suggest you pick yourself up a couple of these. Some of you already know what I'm waving in the air. This is an airlock. This is designed to make your own wine at home. So that is what this is. This is white grape peach. If I were to open this up, you would get the strong smell of alcohol because this has been home brewed, not brewed, but home fermented into wine. Very simple to make it. So I bought this at Walmart. Then I popped a whole bunch of sugar in here. You unscrew the cap, pour a bunch of sugar in there, and then pop the airlock on. Make sure you put some water in there to actually seal it. Basically, it allows bubbles to come up through here without actually letting any air into the bottle. So it allows that out. If you don't want to get an airlock, which are cheap on Amazon, I don't see why you wouldn't want to get some of these because it makes the process easier and safer. You can slightly turn the cap and keep squeezing the bottle. Keep squeezing the bottle until a little bit of air can get out, right? So it's just open enough that some air can kind of get out. Then you can let it sit right there and it'll be able to vent on its own. Some people say put a balloon over it, but unless you're going to stockpile balloons, is that really such a great deal? So you can just use basically any fruit juice. And once you run out of stockpiled fruit juices, you're going to need to make your own fruit juices from stuff on hand if you're going to make your home brewed alcohols. But you can still use these bottles, right? Once you start using stuff from out there that's not pasteurized and whatevered, you are going to have to worry about yeast taking over or bad bacteria in there. Sorry, the yeast is what you want in there. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Just use regular bread yeast, works just fine in there. I don't know what the taste of alcohol really should be like, so I don't know what that is. And I haven't partaken due to religious convictions, but I don't have any problem with anyone who does drink alcohol, as long as you don't drink to excess, right? But this has a lot of uses. Homemade alcohol. One, I can trade this. I can trade this to other people. If in a grid down situation. Technically, I'm not allowed to trade that unless it's a grid down situation, but I haven't done that. So, nor am I advocating that. I have to say that now, don't I? So making homemade alcohol will allow you to use that for trading. Also, if you need it for medical procedures and stuff like that, this is not going to be strong enough. This is only going to be like 15 to maybe 20% alcohol. You can freeze distill it down, though. There's a process out there where you basically freeze the bottle, and then what you do is you turn it upside down and let it drain out, and the alcohol will melt at an earlier temperature, lower temperature than the water will. So you'll be left with a bottle full of ice, and mostly the alcohol and the flavor will have gone down, and you'll just be left with white ice. So you can freeze distill that down. It's a process that I toyed with and is interesting. I really still need to get somebody to try my brews and see how it went. But I suggest stocking up some extra fruit juices for that very purpose. I have a bunch. I drink fruit juice normally, not that much, but some. And then make sure you have a whole bunch of sugar on hand because you're going to need to make this a lot sweeter. And then you're going to need some bread yeast, which you'll probably need some bread yeast anyway, right? And then I suggest also getting some airlocks just to make it a little easier and a little more foolproof. But that's not necessary. So, folks, that's how to make your home-brewed alcohol for SHTF for trading, or if you do need to make some stronger alcohol for medical procedures, that kind of thing. But realize that you're not going to ever freeze distill it to a high enough concentration that you are going to, make fuel out of it. You're going to have to use a different distillation process. Also, be advised that when you freeze distill, that you are freeze distilling the methyl alcohol as well as the ethanol alcohol, right? So that's a toxic poison. So it's not that bad in low concentrations, but if you concentrate it very heavily and then you drink a whole bunch of that, it can cause problems. It will cause much severer hangovers, apparently, and then you also will be, it can actually cause problems if you drink too much of it. In normal concentrations, that's not a problem in regular wine, but if you need to concentrate it, that should be more for medical purposes and such, right? All right, that's the self-sufficiency tip of the day. Think about what you would do for brewing home alcohol, because that's going to be something that's going to be kind of important if the grid goes down, right? There's going to be a lot of people looking for some alcohol, and you might be able to provide for them in return for something else, possibly. All right, that's all I got for you. Steve Poplar, out.